Hi, Sparrows. Hi, Sparrows. Hi, Sparrows. Hello to you. It's another Matters of the Heart Monday. Matters of the Heart Monday. We have Whittington still coming in to join us tonight for some juicy conversation. And we're talking a little bit about consciousness and who are you? Who are you really? Hi, Patricia. Welcome into the room. So it's going to be great. I am Valerie Miller of T.V.M. The Valerie Miller double folds. This very moment you have opportunity to change. It's nothing like being you and being fabulous while you're doing it. Hi, Linda. Welcome in, cousin. So good to see you, ladies. Yes, I did, Patricia. Thank you very much. I've been busy. Mondays and Wednesdays tend to be roller skates around here. I like a rolling ring in all essence. So yeah, we're going to have some great conversations tonight. And I am so excited about having Whittington still in with us tonight. She's got some new tracks released on iTunes. And I'm thrilled. It's been a long time coming to have her on, and tonight's the night. How are you doing, cousin? How are you doing? I miss you, Linda. We need to talk very soon. Very soon. So welcome into the room, and my hope is that you've had a fabulous Monday. It went by very fast for me. Completely and utterly. Blink of an eye fast. That, indeed. So I'm grateful to even sit down right now. It's been that kind of a day. All the way fabulous. Yes. Oh my gosh, Linda. Oh. You can't help but talk about being you and understanding the importance of being yourself and not mimicking or copying or portraying or comparing yourself to anyone else. It's powerful to be authentic. Hi, Junior. I even took the liberty of posting a quote on my timeline just a few minutes ago because it really says a lot. It's not always women that, tend to mimic or copy. It's a beautiful thing when it comes to music. And I'm coming from chapter 13, Being Me, in my book. This is where I'm coming from tonight, how I became fabulous and a lady all the time. And it's still so many topics I haven't even begun to touch on. Of course, I talk about the topic and don't delve into the chapter too much. I really don't. However, I just do the overview. That's what I do. So how I became fabulous and a lady all the time, being me, is being authentic. And how many of us are actually living authentically today? How many of us? I can't imagine being anybody else other than myself. I really cannot. And so when Whittington comes into the room, we're going to delve into who she is, where she came from, and how she became who she is. Those are going to be my questions to her tonight. Thank you, William. Thank you so much. But that quote that I post on my timeline, it reads this. And like I said, it's not only women, because men go through this too, dealing with silent, secret people just copying you all the time. You look up and somebody is mimicking you. What is going on? What is this? And it's literally happened all of my life. I used to dismiss it, but now it's to the point to where, you know what? It just goes to show that you're winning when somebody does that to you. I really believe in my heart and soul that's what it is. When you're doing something right and you do something in alignment of who yourself is, that's intense. It's only a gift that God can give you. Only. You gain that from birthright. So that quote reads, There is nothing more rare nor more beautiful than a woman being unapologetically herself, comfortable in her perfect imperfection. To me, that is the true essence of beauty. That is powerful. And it's by Dr. Steve Maraboli. Hi, Jared. Welcome in. How did I get started? Being myself, William? I was born this way. I just embraced it. As far as what? Be specific. How did I get started? I have no hesitation in sharing. None at all. But, you know, I love being myself. And it's not a person in this world I care to mimic or be other than myself. You know? That's good enough for me. Otherwise, I'll be saying, you know, God made a mistake, and I'll never say that. Never, ever. And the closest to Him as I can be, that would be Galatians 5:22 and 23. It's all about the fruit. So if we can live along those lines, the only mimic I have in life or following a secret shadowing will be Jesus, period. That's it. Talking to people. Well, you know what, William? I used to be shy, believe it or not. I'll tell you this, I am an introvert. So it took some effort. It took some effort. However, having to put myself out more and choosing careers where I had to be in front of people, that's how I got past that. But as far as this, it's what I do. I'm a conscious lifestyle strategist. You're a conscious coach. I introduce you to yourself. That's what I do for a living. Yeah. So my past careers have led me to the point of where I am today. Hi, Demetrius. Welcome to the room. While we're waiting for Whittington to come into the room, by all means, please share. Please share tonight's live. God is good. He's so, so good. He's beyond that. And you know, it's just all a part of gratitude. I'm grateful for the person I'm becoming every single day because I'm obedient and doing what He's leading me to do. I know His power in being just yourself. And so I look forward to see who I actually become in the end. It's that intense. It really is. Where are all of you coming from tonight? Be sure to put in the timeline if you're a veteran. Hashtag veteran. If you're a newbie, hashtag newbie. If you're catching the replay later, hashtag replay. And if you're a follower of Whittington, say hashtag visitor. Please do that. It's nice to know where everybody that shows up in the room, where you come from. There are a lot of you that I know, and then there are some of you that come through that I have no idea who you are or where you are coming from in this world. Tanisha Baskins, welcome in. So yeah, today is a great day, as every day is. I absolutely love coming on Mondays and Wednesdays and sharing as much knowledge as I can possibly share with you to give you another view of what it looks like to have coaching with me. It's not traditional by far, not at all, and being an author as well. So I feel that it's important to share information with the world, things, you know, life experiences. And like I said, this first book, you know, that's the first quarter of my life. Hi, Sandy Longo, Maria Weathers. Come on in. Yes, but like I said, it's a 3-part trilogy. Part 2 is about to come out. I Accept Me. Being brave, being bold, being fierce. Is really expanding on topic tonight, on identification, who you are authentically. So I'm breaking that down like water. I can't wait to read it myself, in all honesty. I'm writing it, and it's about my life, and I'm breaking it down to where it's really going to broaden understanding. And number 3, of course, it'll come out in time. in the proper time. So Whittington should be in the room momentarily. I see she just popped into the room, and there she is.
Can you see?
Hello,
okay?
Whittington.
Hello there. How are you? I'm so sorry I'm late.
You're not late. I told you it's 7:05, somewhere around there, because usually I like to talk and introduce myself and give you some time to come in.
Well, go right ahead. Do what you were doing. I'm
And
so
I
sorry.
have wrapped it all up with a bow. Hi, Leslie Bracy. I've wrapped it up, and it's just I was waiting for you to pop in. That's
Thank
it.
you for giving me
So
time.
see Sparrows, she's here, she's beautiful, and she's popped out just as fast. And you know what? She'll be back in a minute because nothing can rattle my cage. Absolutely nothing can rattle my cage at this point in time. I just have learned to say I love Facebook. So rather than saying anything different, I say I love Facebook. Because you never know why anything happened. At the end of the day, it's still juicing going to take place. As long as we can hold wit into the room, we are going to be on to some great things. And like I said, consciousness and who are you? Who are you really? Have you ever asked yourself that question? I like to pose that question with my clients. I do it all the time. This time I asked myself this question and unlayered it completely in my second book, in I Am. Yeah, that's what I've done with that. So I cannot wait to introduce that book to you in the coming weeks. So be prepared for that juicy surprise that I tell you now. Be prepared for that. It's really going to make you take some hard looks at yourself to answer that question completely and honestly. And that's for sure. Yes, indeed. Hi, Kevin White. Welcome to the room. Patricia Rivers. Yes, you are somebody special. But I mean, beyond somebody special, how did you become this special person? I mean, layering who are you is what I'm talking about. Indeed. Yes, you're still here. I don't know what happened where. I'm going to see if I can get you back in again. At the bottom of the screen, there is a double silhouette. If you're on your phone, press that double silhouette and it's going to ask me to invite you back in. So look at the bottom of your screen within the live. Press that double silhouette and then we'll bring you back in. I was actually thinking that this was going to happen today. I won't say expected, but I felt like this was going to happen because it happened on Wednesday last week. So if you can do that, then I'm going to make an attempt as well. It's just really asking too much to just come on and have a normal broadcast. It really is. But in the meantime, go ahead and be sure to share this live. Go ahead and share it. Hi, Veronica Morris. Welcome in. Whittington, I can't bring you on again from my side. You're going to have to hit the silhouette from the bottom of the page. And then we can carry on with our conversation. I won't even apologize for technology. I'm not even going to do that. We just have to be patient in it. That's all I'm going to say. In the meantime, I have some music going in the background. How are you all today? I don't see any response to my inquiry. Where are you all coming in from? Let's engage. Let's participate in the room while we still can, because once the conversation starts, that's pretty much going to be it. Whittington and I are going to go in, all the way in tonight. That is what we're going to do. I'm glad to see you in, Veronica. So glad to see you in. Time is tick-tocking and tick-tocking. Oh, man. I won't even fall into this nonsense. I won't do it. Oh, all I ever ask is just, Lord, to just allow us to come on and just have great engagement without having to go through these changes. Thank you. Huntsville, Alabama. We have Charlotte, North Carolina. Yay.
I was trying to
Happy
make sure it
birthday,
wasn't.
Maria. Yes. Hi, Whittington. I'm glad, and hopefully we can keep you in the room.
So I hope so. I'm sorry. I
It's
went
not
out
your fault.
and checked my connections to make sure we were good.
It's not you.
Oh, okay.
It's not you. We're in the
I see.
land of
I see
Facebook.
one of my. I see one of my sisters. When I went out and came back in real quick. So quick shout out to Darlene. One of my sisters is watching.
Yes, and my sister's watching too, Veronica Morris. Veronica Morris, thank you. You're so sweet. You're so kind. And we're just going to go ahead and just carry on. Once I get Missy back into this room, Whittington and I know this is probably going to be the way it is tonight, and she's just going to have to keep inviting herself back in so we can carry on with this conversation. Maria, I hope you're having a beautiful birthday today. I sincerely hope that you are. But go ahead, share the video, share this live. I'm going to be saying it periodically. Sharing is caring. And it's somebody somewhere who needs to hear this. And it's quite a few people I can think of right now on both hands that I can list that needs to know. Oh my goodness. Be you, be authentically yourself. Because when you be you and be fabulous while doing so, 365, then, and only then, you awaken to yourself. Who doesn't want to know who they are authentically rather than following somebody else or living the life of somebody else or hoping to be somebody else? It doesn't make any sense at all. You are beautifully and divinely made. How dare you want to be somebody else when God put such craft into you? That's the way I see it. There is nobody better than me. Not in my eyes, no. Who does that? Who thinks otherwise? So when you work on you and you have some personal development, unveiling you, 365 is no room for anybody else or anything else. That's all I care about. I would read a little blurb of it. I may just do that. Just because. While we wait for Whittington to come back into the room. And I just may, just that first paragraph, maybe the second one as well. Branding yourself is necessary, Veronica. That's where you see T.V.M. The Valerie Miller, double fold this very moment. You have opportunity to change. It's, it's purpose behind the name that I have for myself. It's branding me. And when you can brand yourself, that's the brand of all brands. That's right, absolutely no room. But being me is being authentic. That's coming from chapter 13. Authenticity leads to the richest life imaginable. At least it does, in my opinion. You are who you believe you are, right? Well, I can only speak on behalf of myself. Only you know your story, because we all have a story to share. My story is no better or greater or less than yours, because we all have them. It's up to you to share your story the way you want it to be remembered, the way you're living it. Your authenticity is a display of your everyday. Who are you revealing every single day? Is it true? Are you putting on airs? Are you living a life of pretense? Who are you really? I'm so serious about that. And then the second paragraph, I can honestly say in good conscience that everything about me at all times is authentic. Some people have asked, why are you so caring and nice? Who asked that? I've gotten that so many times. Why are you so caring and nice? Because that's who I am. I literally see the good in people. You can be portrayed as the worst person in the world. I squint my eyes and I close my eyes, at times, and I listen very closely just to unlayer something good about you. Everybody I come into contact with, everybody has some level of good in them, even though they portray otherwise. And it's the layering of why they're masking that good. That's the real question. Why are you doing this? Why are you pretending to be somebody else? So that's what I'm sincerely focusing on, more so in book number 2. That I am is powerful. Whatever you put behind I am, it's the truth. Whether if you're speaking positive over yourself or if you're speaking negativity over yourself. It's truth, either way you look at it. I haven't received a request yet, Whittington. Welcome to the room, Shonda. Okay, Whit. We're going to do this again. This time, Sparrows, I need you to join with me as Whittington comes back in this room. And we're going to say that she is going to stay in here this time because this conversation needs to be had, Whit.
My goodness.
Isn't it
Hello.
nuts?
This is crazy.
It is.
That's why I told you when we talked before that you need your very own studio and your very own talk show, and that would be it.
From your lips to God's ears. And every day and every show, I am believing that to come to fruition. If he put me on this platform, he's going to put me in somewhere I can really come on without drama, just like this. Thank you for the prayers. That's all I'm going to say. And this is probably going to be the image throughout the night. It doesn't matter. As long as Whittington gets back in, we're going to get this show started. Just be patient. That's all I can say. There was once upon a time, if you go back in your archive of memory, when I would be like, oh my goodness, Facebook, and Facebook. I would say those things. Now I've learned to just like, nope. It's okay. We're going to get through this. Ain't but a thing. Yes, you're believing with me, sissy? Thank you so much. Because it's time out for this. And this is only a test, and it's one I shall pass. It's one I shall pass. That I can promise you. And Whittington, you are 100% correct. You are 100% correct. A studio is coming. I'm believing for it. A studio is coming. we might want to move fast while I can keep you in here.
If it continues, do you want to call me on the telephone?
I may have to. We'll just play it by ear because, we've waited too long. I just want them to view you. It's just too much to you, and it's too much we need to talk about,
Thank you.
And we're going to claim this as such. So I'm just going to go ahead. I've given a snapshot of you. Granted, parts of your bio I put on the timeline today. So why don't you tell us when you come back? And I know I'm going to be very smart about this. Hey, Demetrius, let me tell you, Whittington is the sparrow of the night. This is what I've decided to call my guest that literally pops in and out of the room. They're the sparrow of the night. And this has been happening since, Facebook had the blackout a couple of weeks ago. So every guest that's come on afterwards, it's been nonsense just like this. However, I've decided not to allow it to rattle my cage. It's not even worth rattling my cage over. However, I do ask for strong patience of everyone in the room to hold tight so I can just hopefully this will pass to the point to where we can get Whittington in the room and keep her in the room so we can get this done. Yes. Hey, doll.
Hi.
I just,
I don't
tell us
I'm
about
sorry.
you while we have you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and if you lose me, I'm getting good at it, so I'll just keep coming right back.
Just keep coming right back. You're the sparrow of the night.
Yeah. So, about me. That's so hard to
Who
do.
are you? Who are you? Where did you come from? And how
Hmm.
did you get to where you are today in the music world? And while she's away, she'll be back momentarily and she'll be able to answer that. Yes, Demetrius. I have found humor in so many things, and I've chosen to not let things rattle my cage. I've made that choice in my life, Demetrius. It's always something that comes about that tests you. And I'm just going to have to keep passing the test by, that imaginary t shirt. I tell you about the t shirt all the time. I don't care. And I can't allow things or anyone to bother me. It's all comical in essence. It's comical because my focus is on greater things. So, with, focus being greater things and knowing that this is just something that's temporary for right now, and you can't get anything greater than that. You really can't. But it's just confirming that we're onto something fabulous with these lives every single Monday and Wednesday. See?
So, I'm from Jersey.
Uh
I'm
huh.
gonna talk fast. And basically, I've lived in a lot of places.
Uh
I
huh.
was very young when I got bit by the musical bug, and someone who helped discover me, Mr. Bunny Sigler, who many may remember, a wonderful, wonderful talent. May he rest in peace. But he stumbled upon me totally by accident. I say accident, but we
Ah.
know it was meant to be, right?
Uh huh.
And that's
And she'll continue that conversation when she comes back. I feel like I'm doing stand up comedy. Welcome to the room, Angie Harrison. I feel like this is my, introduction to comedy. For the simple fact, every week it gets juicier and juicier of things that I'm having to do and the different hats that I put on. It's just like that. And so she'll be back to finish her conversation in just a minute. This is
what in the
amazing.
world? What do I? When I tell you that I just to get on tonight was such a task,
Yeah.
and it was just crazy. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so by accident was discovered, so to speak, by Bunny Sigler. I was very young at the time. I was still in Jersey and still, popular out and about doing my thing, and I really didn't realize what I had. And part of that was just because
And she'll pick up from just because when she returns. Hi, Angie. It's so great of you to come into the room. But like I said, the next thing you're going to see from me is me telling you that I'm going to be doing stand up comedy. I'm going to be talking about something. I promise you. I promise you. Because I'm having to be so diverse and flexible when it comes to these lives. That only means juicy. And the most miraculous thing is right on the cusp of coming to fruition. I'm just claiming it as such. That's all this is. Therefore, I have to continue to pass the test. That's it. I'm going to sit here and be smiling, and I'm going to talk to you all. And Whittington, the actual sparrow of the night, she's just going to pop in and out. and then we're going to get through this very effortlessly.
Right. And I can still hear you
Yes,
sometimes, and then it cuts you off. Do you think I should go on my page and find you and come in that way? Because I'm on your page right now.
it has to be on my page. Otherwise, nobody's going to view.
Okay. So,
Carry on, like nothing's happening. You have to. It's comedy.
okay. Okay. So, it's so hard to make a long story short, but long story short, I ended up just not really taking it very seriously. And where Bunny would call me up and say, "Hey, you want to get in the studio? We're going to go over to Trenton," because he was from Philadelphia International Records. And when I met him and he asked me to sing, I sang "Meet Me on the Moon," which is one of my favorite songs by Phyllis Hyman.
Nice.
Well, I was so young, and I had no idea that Phyllis Hyman had the affiliation she had with Philadelphia International as well as Bunny Sigler.
Uh-huh.
So when I sang, his jaw just kind of dropped. And I didn't realize either the similarities in our voices.
Mm.
I have met so many people who knew her personally,
Yes.
and I'm gonna tell you, it's quite freaky because sometimes people say some of the things I say or some of the way I say it, and then to top it off, when I'm singing her songs, um, my father couldn't tell the difference between me and her. So,
Mm.
but I've tried to. Some people would say it's crazy to do, but I've tried to move away from it. I kind of tried not to sound
Right.
like her
Right.
because I not only do I want my own identity, but she was just so awesome and such a spirit that I don't want to emulate. I don't want to take anything away from her. I want her to have that. Phyllis is
Exactly.
Phyllis. There'll never
Exactly.
be another Phyllis Hyman. You know what I mean?
I get
So
that.
now, Washington still. I say that humbly, you know. But so many different avenues. When I dibbled and dabbled in the music, I was doing hair, I was making jewelry, I was doing this and doing that.
Uh-huh.
Um, I might show up somewhere and sing something just because I might volunteer and do something. I'll never forget there was a place in Delaware called Kahunaville,
Nice.
and I went over there and they had a plane, train, and automobile contest, and
Really.
they were lip singing.
Mm.
You had to lip sing and do your body motions and woo the crowd. And if you did, you won the
Okay.
contest. I got up there and I asked if they could allow me to really sing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a ball and I won the plane trip to Florida, ironically, right?
Right.
I took it. I never took the trip. I framed the ticket, and but it was so much fun. And I sang the Fugees and Lauryn Hill, one of her songs. But it was just fun. But I I left the East Coast and went to live in California for a while. I think we're good. No interruptions. Let me knock on some wood. So went out there, and I had my own band, and I started to put on shows, performing, and
Nice.
then it got real. I had studio sessions scheduled for me on certain days. We
Right.
were working on CDs, like it was real, and I would perform, sign my autographs, go back to the house, have an after party with certain folks, and just that lifestyle. It felt good. It was like this is
I
me.
love it.
But then life happened,
Mm-hmm.
and it threw a little monkey wrench in there, and
Okay.
stopped the clock, but didn't break it.
That's
Just
all we need
stopped the
to know.
clock.
Okay,
hmm
cheer.
And so I came on back to the East Coast, and of course, I couldn't bring my band with me. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the following. I didn't have a lot of things, but I had me,
That's
right?
enough.
So that's enough. So I I went to work. I went to work. I had to put food on the table. Some people would come up to me. I think I had a website. I had different things out there, and social media wasn't what it is today. When I started singing, there were no smartphones. If you weren't in the room, you weren't in the room. You
Right.
just didn't know,
Right.
you know. So for some of the things that I did to kind of surface, a little bit half surfaced over time, is amazing. But when people see me or hear me and they meet me and they say, "Why aren't you here yet? Why aren't you doing this yet?" And it's like, well, I started many moons ago, and off and on, off and on. So this last go around, and I'm calling it the last go around, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So the last go around, I was saying, that window was nice, but that window is closed.
Mm,
That window's closed, and let's see what else, is in the cards for me. That's where I was, Val. And
okay.
then I met a few folks that were like, "Oh no, I'm sorry to inform you. You've been informed. Your time is now. I don't care what you did, what you've been through, where you've been, how long it's taken you to get here, but you're here now, and the time is now, and let's do it." And when I said, "Okay," and I stopped fighting, I said, "Okay, every door that God puts me in front of has opened without me
Yeah.
having to bang at it,
Timing is
without me
everything.
can claw and make a million phone calls to say, here I am, this is what I can do. Can you? I'm not really having to do any of that. I will tell anybody, do not give up.
Right.
Don't do it. All you need has been put in you.
Yes.
All you need is there. You are more than enough.
Exactly.
More than enough. But when you're from where I'm from, sometimes the children don't get to hear that. We
Exactly.
don't get we don't get to see that every day. Okay? I'm originally from Camden, and
Camden,
um,
where?
Camden, New Jersey.
Okay.
And you basically, you make it every day. You make it through. You go to school, you make it, and you do what you need to do. Um, you may not be coming home to someone telling you that the sky is the limit. What do you want to be? You can do it. Not that there's any less love, but just not the way it was. Your education, your morals, just things that are very important were front and center. Your spirituality, these things that make you who you are. And I'm so thankful that I've had to wait, that I'm not spoiled or pushy because I've had to
Listen,
go through some things. I've had to learn, and that has made me this spiritual being that I am.
isn't that
Um,
beautiful?
it is amazing when you spend time alone enough
Whew.
where you can tap into something that lets you know every day, I'm in the right room.
Exactly.
I'm in the right place. I'm in the right city. I'm in the right car. I'm talking to the right person. When those angels are just lifting you and following you and guiding you and
Oh
opening
yeah.
the door for you, you feel like you're just floating on air and you're just going where you're supposed to go. And if you should end up, because we have free will, if you should end up somewhere you really shouldn't be or wasn't supposed to be, there is a way that just like a breeze,
It gets
and you
you back
kind
up.
of your hairs kind of stand up on your neck, and
Yeah.
you kind of and you back up and you say, whoa, 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 okay, let me
How
get
did that
back on track.
happen? But then we know how that happens.
Yes, yes, it's awesome. You're slipping down here. Let me try to fix you up. I don't want to touch anything. So, coming up to okay, coming back to the East Coast, and then spending years just working music here and there, but not full force like I want.
Right.
Want to be at that time. But again, like you said, and you always say this, and I'm always watching you, by the way,
You?
that timing is everything. Timing is everything. Keep writing these books. I'm going to get them all. Believe me.
Thank
I'm going to write some of my own.
you.
I also want to do, I've got some stories that could turn into movies, and people leave the theater just like,
What just happened?
just happened. What
What did I just see?
what let's see, but they're going to be enlightened. They're going to feel good. And everything's not about feeling good.
No.
So don't, it's not. It's not. People, if I told you half, if when the books do come out, you'd be like, that same soul there went through that stuff there. There's no way. How
It's
is she still
prosperity and
smiling?
pain. You have to
It's
go
it's
through the pain in order to come out grand on the other side. If it's
yeah.
no pain, it's there's no long suffering. That's a part of the nine fruits. Everything is
Yeah.
not jovial. Everything is not sunshining every day. You have to
No, because
learn. You have to go through it.
if it were, how could you recognize a storm and how could you know that the rainbow was going to come after? If
You couldn't.
every single day is
You
great, you're going to want to run and jump off a bridge because, oh my God, what is this? And
yeah.
so you have to have that balance, and you have to know what to do.
Yeah.
And I've learned who to go to. There's only one for me. I've learned who's carrying me. And there is no being on this planet that
Mm-mm.
I'm afraid of because there's only one that's doing what he's doing for me.
Exactly.
And I'm not a religious person. People who really know me know that. They know
Yeah.
I'm not into religion, but I am truly into spirituality. And there is
Spirituality and having a relationship. As long as you have your
absolutely,
relationship, that's all you need.
yes. Um, there's so much. Oh, we have to have a part two because there's just so much, and
Oh,
our start was just so delayed. But I want to talk about Camden for a minute.
I think you should
Um,
because that's where a lot of your roots are.
yes, and even though I've lived in California, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, and about four cities in each of those states at least, and now I'm working on my second city in Florida.
Hmm.
So, yeah, yeah, and thought a lot about going to be in the Bahamas. I went there once on a vacation, and I even ended up singing by accident, right?
No
And
accidents.
and then there were like these officials that were there asking me if I wanted to sign up for my citizenship. Like, I gotta go home. So they told me, well, this is the process whenever you're ready. It would be very easy for me, they told me. It'd be very easy because I'd bring to the island. They told me, they says you bring, so you wouldn't be coming to take anything away. You're bringing something valuable to the island.
Yes.
Do you know how good that made me feel?
Yes.
And so I keep that in the back of my mind that one day maybe I will get my citizenship and live in the Bahamas. Things are just, I like peace, Val. I like
Yes.
peace and trying to find, I think people ask me, why you move so much? I think sometimes I was trying to find peace. And until I realized that peace is within and from up above. So it's
Yes.
going to be with me wherever I
Exactly.
reside.
Yes.
Took a minute. So, and even though now I say, am I staying in Florida? It's just because it's like I could be wherever I want.
Or
So that's that question.
it's a for
But getting back to Camden,
mm-hmm.
I don't know if I was supposed to send the information and the invite to Nate Banks, and he said he wanted to tune in. So I so apologize. I'm gonna have to send this to him later because I was just running so behind and didn't want to hold you up. But um, Camden is amazing. I went to school. I went to Forest Hill Elementary School. I went to Hatch Middle. I went to Camden High. I also went to other schools.
Okay.
Um, yes, I went to other schools in different states and a couple in different cities. But those were my roots. So uh, when I hear a couple of years ago that a television show that's being compared to The Sopranos and a couple of other like mafia type shows or legal shows, that has been created, produced, written by my classmates all the way from elementary on up, who
Seriously.
I love dearly. I said, you know what? I am so proud of them. It's hard where we're from, okay? It's not an easy place to grow up and then to survive. I lost a lot of friends,
That's understood.
and mm-hmm, and so and family, just to the elements, you know. But when I heard that, I said, I sent Nate a message one day and I said, I am going to gift you a song. And I know they probably said, what is she talking about? So I wrote a song. The show is called Chase Street.
Love it.
If you haven't seen the trailer, I tell anybody, go on my page, Google Chase Street trailer, watch it. It's amazing. It's going to be on a major cable network very soon.
I
I know they're in
it's nice.
negotiations. They're taking their time. They're doing it the right way, and I'm
Yeah.
so proud of them. And they have so much support.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote The Chase, which is about Camden, and they loved it. So I said, well, hopefully they'll use it on the show.
I'm sure they
So
will.
now, yeah. So now I'm focusing also on writing for film, for TV. I've had a couple of people approach me,
Yes.
and they're trying to send me some things to see, what direction I can go in with it and where it fits in different things.
That's amazing.
I'm just, poof.
Have you
I
taken it in
mean,
yet?
no, no, no. And then when I thought about, I was watching something, I can't remember now, but I thought about children's stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I like to do all these different voices, and I can do all these little teeny voices and make the elephants, and the mice and I'm silly like that. And I, my friends, a lot of my little friends that I have is I volunteer teach sometimes too. And
Yes.
so the children and I have such a good relationship.
I
They
love it.
take to me, they trust me, I trust them, and they know it.
Yeah.
So I could just see me telling all of these wonderful, necessary stories, but through voices that get their attention.
Yes.
You have to capture children's attention in a good way.
Yes, it's
And I
so
believe
fabulous.
that there is energy and vibration and frequency in music.
Yes, it is.
I use that when I sing. And
Yes.
sometimes people hear me sing and they say, something happened, or I was just engaged. And I want to say thank you. However, I'm also tapped into knowing that I'm using energy, frequency, and
Mm-hmm.
and that's helping to get your attention. So if I can tell these children's stories in these different voices that I can do, of all these little different creatures and friends they may have. And at the end of the day, they're getting such a great lesson, be it, about the harm of bullying or racism, or just
That's what it's
not
about.
feeling complete, letting them know at an early age, Val, that they are more than enough. What
They
do
are
you
more
like to do?
stuff.
What are you interested in? You have to ask that question. I met a young girl once. She was a young teenager and she was suicidal.
Mm-hmm.
And no one knew that, okay? But I think that's a gift too. Sometimes I get a little extra something about somebody that I can
Right.
brush paths with, and I'll go back and try to circle around. And real quick, the young girl, she was talking, and I just kind of like interrupted her conversation, and I started talking with her. And the next thing you know, we took a walk, and everything that kept coming to me in my head, I kept hearing, ask her about tomorrow.
Mm.
Ask her about tomorrow.
Did you
But
ask her?
she, oh, absolutely.
Thank
I
you.
said, tell me, what do you have planned for tomorrow? And then I went a step further. What do you want to be? How do you plan on doing that? Well,
Yeah.
what did you think about wanting to? I don't want to be anything anymore. I thought I said, tell me about that one time then. What did you
Yeah.
want to be before?
Yeah.
Before whatever happened to you.
Absolutely.
And so she just started opening up, and she started talking, and I wanted her to have my contact information. And that young girl did not do anything to herself.
Thank
And
goodness.
she started realizing that, things happen, and life isn't always fair, and bad things can happen to good people,
Yes.
and it doesn't change anything about her destiny unless she decided to interrupt it, and that wouldn't be fair. So
Right.
just that, having that conversation helped me to realize that sometimes I get down, honestly.
We all do.
Some people, yeah, we all do.
Snap
If
it
we
back.
live in this, you cannot live in this world and be a human with heart and feelings and not get down from time to
Oh,
time.
yeah. You're right.
So the thing is, what do you do during that time, and how do you come out of it? And so
A lot of
you have to,
self-talk.
yeah, you have to really talk yourself
Right.
through it. You had a young lady on that was talking about anxiety, and she had some great points, because the mind really does only focus on one thing at a time. That
It does.
multitasking lie is just that. It's not the truth,
It is
because your brain
definitely a
really,
lie.
yeah,
Yeah.
your brain doesn't really multitask, and if you're doing more than one thing, something is lacking somewhere. So if you feel that anxiety coming, and you have to trick your mind and start thinking about anything else. It can't do two
Anything.
things.
I'll say go to something funny. I don't care what it is to shift that algorithm, that vibration that you're in. And on top of
Yes.
that, what you feed yourself is going to be the outcome, because the
Mm-hmm.
mind and the heart is definitely synced. And when those two are synced, the heart is going to pump from the subconscious to the conscious, is the outcome. So if you
That's
don't
exactly
change your
right.
attitude immediately, you can stay in that rut all day. You have to have
Yep.
something to remind yourself how fabulous you are. You have to have something or someone that can give you a butt and belly aching laugh. Whenever
Yes.
something like that happens, I don't care what time it is, laugh, break
Now
it.
imagine we know that as adults, right? But
Yeah.
imagine a child feeling that way and not understanding what they're feeling, and not having someone recognize it, and not having someone say, "You're fabulous." Do
Well, that
you
was even
know?
as a kid. You have to look at it from that. But it goes to parents, what the parents are teaching their children to believe in themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
what I do know is it's a shift over time. And
Yeah.
that's what the whole point of tonight is. Consciousness and being
Yes.
me, being you, and knowing who you are. It takes
Mm.
time to discover yourself. I
And not being
figured it
afraid
out.
to. That we're told to, sometimes when we express ourselves,
Right.
we can be, I mean, this has happened to me plenty of times, been
Uh-huh.
told, "You're strange. You look strange. You sound strange. You speak strange. Why do you use
You.
those words? Why do you listen to
You.
that type of music?"
Thank you.
And then I've tried to fit into what the quote unquote norm
Right.
was for where I may have been at that time.
Right.
And that is such a waste of energy.
It
I
doesn't
will tell
work.
anybody, don't even matter. It
Mm-mm.
doesn't matter what
Mm-mm.
they say, what they feel, what they think about you and how you feel and how you think and how you want to operate. If
Right.
you want to think outside the box, if you want to do
Right.
something that you've got 50 people on the block and 49 are doing it one way, and here you come and you say, but you know what? That's not going to be me. It's nothing wrong with the way they're doing it, but I
Mm-mm.
want to do something a little different.
Embrace
You
it.
have people just as simple as who moves as much as you do. I do. I have people that are from one place and have never left where they're from. That's fine for you. You probably have great roots.
Yeah.
Everybody knows your name. It's
Yeah.
like cheers. I'm
Yeah.
sure you have a comfort level and that's awesome. But somebody like me,
I like
I
to
couldn't
go.
do it. I
I
couldn't
like
do it.
adventure.
Yeah,
What about
if
you?
I felt the grass growing under my feet, I will get up and I will go. If I have to reinvent myself, I
Yeah.
will do it. If I have to leave a situation, just up and leave a situation, I will up and leave a
Goodbye.
situation because you have to protect yourself first.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, and for so long, I didn't do that. It was about everybody else, and now it can't be.
No.
So, no. But a little more about Chase Street.
Yes.
Those gentlemen, Denny Brown, Nate Banks, Chris Cream, Michael Johnson, they're all over my page. Please go to my page, folks. And when I send this out again, I know it's gonna circulate. I'm gonna keep circulating it. Val, you're gonna see
Please
it
do.
because when you're from an impoverished city and you don't have um, access to everything that you'd like to have access to, when you sit back and you see the city and you hear of the city, it's almost like a taboo. There's so many people that are from Camden that don't even admit they're from Camden because it
Wow.
has such attached to it. But when you think about that, and you see what these young men are doing and women,
Right.
Casey Broken Barrel. I mean, there are just so many. When you sit back, you're like, whoa. They had the imagination. They had the drive. They kept going and they didn't give up and they didn't take no for an answer because I'm sure the first time they pitched it wasn't a, oh yeah, that sounds great. I'm sure that didn't happen.
Of
I'm
course.
sure they had to keep on pushing. And then in a conversation with Nate one day, he said, God is just opening doors. And I thought, wow, I have that in my song
I
where, I'm talking about God opening the doors and us succeeding all together. So
love
it's
it.
amazing. It's amazing. And
It is amazing. But look at it
yeah.
this way. Some of the greatest people come from those types of towns, small towns, things, little towns that aren't very big on the map. I'm one of those girls. And so proud to say I'm a Carolina girl. I will tell you in a heartbeat. Do not try to place me somewhere else because I go back to where my roots are. And like
Hmm.
you, grass don't grow under my feet. If I'm ever led to go somewhere else, I'm doing it. I'm doing
Hmm.
it. You
Yeah.
know, 33 years old, 34 years old, flying off to Europe by myself for 2 weeks,
Mm.
almost 3 weeks by myself,
Beautiful. Yeah.
living overseas. Because if you don't take adventure by the horns, you will miss life.
Hmm. Hmm.
Life is to be lived. This world is too big not to be embraced and discovered.
That's
Because
right.
every time you land somewhere different, you enter somewhere different, you are unveiling parts of yourself that would be missed if you had not taken advantage of that opportunity. And
That
that's
is
what's
so
important,
true.
you
That's so
know?
true. And I'm so sorry that I don't have my glasses on and people are saying things and I'm promised that I'm gonna go back and read
After.
them after because I'm looking at you because I like to look people in their eyes when I'm talking to them So, but if you can see the comments and you
I
want
can,
to
and there are
see,
plenty of them. So usually, since
okay,
we got started, we just kind of jump in and back and forth later. But
okay,
pop in with a few because Veronica Morris says, "May your doors continue to open, Whittington." And Joy is saying, "I enjoyed my 17 years in Europe. I wouldn't trade
hmm
the opportunity for the world." So these are things that unveil who you are. It's your discovery, one layer at a time. However, like you said, it's nothing wrong with staying in your town or in your city where you've been your entire life. However, I feel like you need to travel. You need to step on some separate soil, something different than what you're accustomed to. Otherwise, you'll leave this earth not knowing so much that you could have awakened your life to be. You don't know
yeah,
who you're
there's
going to
some,
meet. You don't know what discoveries you can intertwine with just by
yeah,
making a choice to get a passport and going someplace, even for 2 weeks, a
yeah,
week, a weekend. Catch
yeah.
a red eye, Whittington. Red eye. You
That's
know,
right. That's right. Tell them, Val. You
I
gotta get
wouldn't
up. You gotta go.
change. I wouldn't
You
change
gotta move.
anything.
You gotta move. That's the whole thing. It's like
Yeah,
they say, in order to stay young, you want to continue to
at
move.
heart. Yes.
Right. It's the same thing. You
Yeah.
want your mind, heart, you want your energy to continue in a direction that's upward bound. You've got to keep moving. You got to keep newness.
Soaring,
It's cuter.
leaping, jumping,
Yeah. Yeah, like
flourishing.
Steve Harvey says, you got to just jump,
Just
right? That's what he
jump.
says. Nike says, just do it.
Yeah. And Martin Luther King, take the first step. You don't need to know where the stairwell leads. Just take
hmm
it.
Just take
Have
it.
some mystery in your life. And you know what? As I sit here and we're saying these things, it helps me to understand why you have so many followers in the world. It's more followers than there are leaders. And it's
hmm
simply because the leaders don't mind, paving the way of something new and different. That fear
That's
is
so
not
true.
there. Fear becomes fearless and bold.
hmm
And
hmm
taking their vulnerabilities and all the things that has sculpted them to become, all the hardships, all of the pain. And they take
Yes.
all of this and they put it into that sound bowl of life, and this is how you come out. A leader, focused, loving yourself, being determined, not settling, all of those things. Whereas the
hmm
person that follows, is easy to say, I want to be like her.
Hmm.
I'm going to copy her. That's a great
hmm
idea. I think I'm going to mimic that. I'm going to change it up a
hmm
little bit. And
hmm
obviously, you're biting somebody else's style.
Yes.
Insulting to yourself and disrespectful to the person who's done the late nights, who's worked extremely hard to get to where they are. And then here you go, watching a video or a TV show or listening to a song and want to mimic.
Yeah.
Lies. Stop that. Stop it. Quit.
That's right. That's right. That's
Become
right.
who you are supposed to be. We all have a gift, something so special and unique that the world is waiting on. However, if you don't grow yourself, you can't present yourself.
That's right, Val. That's right.
That's the sad part.
And so many people need to hear that.
Yeah.
And the younger you are when you hear it, the better off you'll be.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
never too late, never too late. But the younger you are when you start to hear these
Yeah.
conversations, the better off you'll be.
And
So
I think
that's
that's
why
the voice for you. Take
my
your
heart's
many
always gone
voices.
out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Take your many voices
Oh,
and take the characters to do it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
identity, Whitney. Hey, it's identity. I've already
yeah.
written my part, and I cannot wait to drop that book. However, if you do it in a
Mhm.
kid version and just had the conversation on yesterday on colorism, It goes back to
Wow.
identity. Children don't know who they are. They don't know their race. They don't know their lineage. Only what
Yeah.
somebody tell them that, but don't tell them all of the truth. You
And
know,
that's dangerous.
very dangerous. That's where
Half
bullying
a
comes from.
half
That's
a
where
sto- Yep,
bullying is
half a
hiding.
story. Half a story to me is worse than a lie,
It is work.
or just as bad.
It
And
is.
that's one reason why I can't, I don't, for myself, do religion, because it seems like they all have bits and pieces, and it makes me think, aren't they all supposed to lead to one place? Then why are there so many different versions, and what is it really, when I think it's supposed to be about loving your brother as yourself,
Period.
right? But you got to love yourself first in order to do that.
Exactly.
And it's not in a building necessarily. It's not
No.
in a building. You're not going to find that peace in a building if that's not who you are when you
Right.
go there. And
Right.
then when you come out of there, and if you didn't go with the peace,
You're not
and
leaving
what
with.
do you expect to leave with?
You're not leaving with it.
No. So I tell people, just dig inside, and spend time with yourself.
As much as
Just don't be
possible.
afraid to be alone in just, even if it's an hour a day. Go somewhere and just be with you,
Be still.
because
Be quiet.
still, and be quiet, because that's when you start to learn a lot.
That's how you hear.
Yeah, 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 that's how you
If you
hear.
listen.
But
I'm just.
um okay, so I know I wanted to talk to you. Oh,
What about
I have.
the new tracks? Tell me. Tell me something. Like.
Oh yeah, so last night I get an email that iTunes and Apple Music have picked up my house track, which was the very first time I attempted to sing or write to a house track. That now I listen to almost every day. I love that song.
I really
Um,
on myself. I like it.
you like it?
I like.
Thank you, Val. You better know what to do. I'll tell you a funny story about it if you want to hear it.
Yes.
Okay, so I got the track, and I was in North Carolina, and I went up there to record.
Uh huh.
So I wanted a house track. I wanted to see what I could do with it. And awesome producer Jimmy uh, just put this track together, and I listened to it quickly, and then we were in the car,
Mhm.
and then I wrote to it. And then the funny thing is, when we got to the studio, we didn't get a chance. It started snowing, and we had to leave out of where we were and get back down to the Raleigh-Durham area where it
Uh huh.
wasn't snowing and icing. So we didn't get to it that session, but the next day we were going to get to it. And that was the day I was checking out, right? I was going to check out, we spend the day at the studio, and then I head for my flight that night. I left my songbook at the hotel. I
Oh.
never do that. I never do that. I took it out and got everything packed up and set it aside, and somehow left it. Accident, right? I don't think anything's an accident anymore.
No.
So check this out. We go to the studio, and I said, "Oh my God, Jimmy, I don't have my folder." Well, the hotel put it up for me and everything. We were to pick it up on the way to the airport. But he says, "Whit, you wrote that song yesterday. I'm not even worried about you. You go ahead in there and do it." So I was like winging it. What you hear on "You Better Know What to Do," you better know what to do, like that, just, I was like, okay, we're going with it. And I got a little upset. And Dee, if you're still on here, I know you're busy, but I think you're on here. So Dee can attest to the fact that when I got back home, I was like, I don't know. I don't know about this song. And he said to me, such a wise soul. Your relatives are awesome, by the way.
We are
So
good ones.
Demetrius Richardson, who I owe a great deal to, he actually, I was listening to. I'll tell you all about that too, how I met
Yes.
him and how that all unfolded and just the doors and the path is amazing. So I call him and I say, I don't know about this house track. He said, well, what's wrong? I said, oh no, the music's great, the engineering's great, the producing's great, the mastering's awesome, but I just don't know about my song. And he said to me, you know what it is? You're such a good writer and you tell such great stories because I write everything that I sing.
Love it.
And with the house, you don't have to have a full story.
Mm-mm.
You don't have to have a whole song that tells this amazing story. You followed the rules of house.
Yeah.
You had a great beat, you had the repetition, and you gave him a sweet hook.
Yeah.
He said you did it. That's all it is. I said, "Oh." And then I was okay. Because had he not had that conversation with me, I can't say that that would have been released to the world. I
Oh my
mean,
goodness.
yeah,
It was
no,
a great
because
one. It was the beat that lured you in. And I was like, okay. It was like
mm-hmm.
this. And then you
Yeah,
start doing this. Because you can't be still on a house. You can't be still on a house move. Every part of you move with the
yes,
beat.
yes, yes. And I love it. I love it. It's what sometimes in the morning I wake up and that's the one that get up, get up, get up, get up because I don't want to get up. So it's like that helps me get up.
Yes.
And but all of that, Val, that you hear, the doubling up, the going back, and what I'm gonna put here and over, and how we're gonna end it out.
Yes.
It was all done at the mic before heading to the airport.
Freestyle.
Freestyle.
That's how it's
So
done.
that's nice. That was fun. Yes, yes. So Demetrius, I'm watching Facebook one night live, and I see this young man, and he's fiddling with the remote, and he's trying to get a fight on the screen. I don't know. I guess with folks that were in the room within, and I hear his music in the background. And because of my ear, I don't care
Yeah.
what else is going on. I hear something good, something that frequency, And I said, "Whoa." And I tuned into the music that was playing, and it was him. And I said, "Whoever that is, they are going places." And I could tell that the longevity had already been there, the experience, I could tell.
Right.
So as I'm watching and he's talking to his buddy and he's fiddling with the remote for the fight, and I hear the engineer in the background doing with the music, and Demetrius says, I call him D. D
Mm-hmm.
says, um, yeah, let's do that. Let me hear that drop. Put that drop in there. So I hear this drop, and it's like computer generated or something.
Uh-huh.
It's like rich count music. And Dee kept saying, but I want it to sound a little bit more of this. And okay, yeah, let me have a little bit of that. Now he's still fiddling with the remote, and things are still going on. His buddy's there, and I'm hearing the music, and I'm hearing the drop in the back. I didn't know really all of what was going on, but I jumped into Messenger, and I said, Rich Count Music, and sent it to him. And it kind of freaked him out, like, who the heck? What the heck? Wait a minute, this lady just sent me this. And this is what I was trying to do. So I said, young man, you are going places, and you use that how you see fit. And so he put it in the tribute to Bobby Womack that he did, the ladies'
I
night.
love
So,
it.
so when you hear the rich count music
That's
throughout the
you.
video, that's me. So that was so much fun. So I was sure to give him because I just did that at home.
Right.
But while I was there recording, I made sure to give him some good professional drops because I
Mm-hmm.
do that for DJs as well. So
Okay.
sometimes people are listening to different DJs and they may hear, this is Whittington Still. And you're listening to 103 point. And so I love doing that because then what they do is after they play the drop, they go right into my
The
song.
segue.
So that's fun for me. And I get people all the time that they may be on a live and they're hearing a DJ and the DJ has played the drop and has played it because they likes hearing it. And I don't mind. I love when I can do a drop for someone just because I want to and I don't want anything. And that's the part
Yeah.
that people can't get past. And I
Because
think
you
a
love it.
couple of people, yeah, a couple of people I did drops for, they don't act, they actually don't play them, and it's okay, that's your choice. But I really didn't want anything from it. If
Right.
you never played my music, I love doing voices and I love doing drops. And I have Butch Wynn radio up in New York.
Mm-hmm.
He is amazing. You'll find him on my page. Please
Okay.
take a listen. He plays house on his own radio station 24/7. So when I came back and I said, I got a house track, like send it right away. And he has my drops. So he's like, it only makes sense. I'm doing the this is Whittington Still, you're listening to Butchwin, and then he goes into my house track. So you have
Appropriate.
to learn how to take yourself out without taking yourself out.
Right.
You can still be there, you can still be relevant, but guess what? You've blessed someone else. To
Exactly.
see the faces of people light up when they hear their very own drop by little old me, I, that does something for my heart. You don't know, you may not know what I need for my little heart.
Right.
So these little things that, because sometimes people think you got it all, or you, just whatever they think, it's the simplest things with me.
It is.
It's just me being
In
able to
most spaces.
do something that puts a smile on somebody's face, and then they show me their appreciation
Uh-huh.
just by using the drop. It didn't cost you a thing. It
Exactly.
didn't cost. I have never charged one dime for a drop.
Well,
And
that's why so many doors are opening. You have to realize that when you give from your heart and it's sincere, you're not asking for anything. It's not always, about the money. It's not.
when
It's
people,
about the love of what you do,
the
and it
love
comes
of what you do,
effortlessly.
they say true success is
Right.
liking what you do and liking how you do it.
Yeah.
But I like to say loving
Love.
what you do
Absolute
and
love.
loving how you do it. If you
Yeah.
are doing something you like to do, but you don't necessarily like how you got there, and you don't like what you're having to do every day to stay there, you got to go back to the blackboard
Change it.
and reassess some
Yeah.
things because nothing's going to come out of that that's going to make you sleep
Mm-mm.
well at the end of the
Mm-mm.
day. I sleep good because peace is real. And if I feel that I don't have it, if when sometimes those energies try to come and steal it, and that
It has.
does happen, I pray for the angels of peace to surround me. A woman
Yeah.
told me that almost 30 years ago, and I've been saying it ever since. I've been telling as many people as I can tell because it really does work.
It
They
does
come
work.
in an instant and shut everything down, and
Right.
then there's this straight peace. And it's like, oh, just like that?
Yeah.
It's just like that. Just like, I'm gonna bring you
Just
to the
like that.
studio.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
It's like that. I'm just
Dee
excited.
has introduced me to a couple of great folks, and just when I made the connection with him after making that drop, and I said, who was that engineer? I like what I heard. That was one door, and that engineer, that producer is who made those tracks that you hear and that you like.
Right.
And we worked very well together, and it just seemed to just click, and the talents, they just complement one another, and it's like he knows right what I want to hear before I even say what I want to hear, and I know just what he's about to do, just, and that doesn't usually happen that quick. You usually, like my band I had in California, they knew the note I was about to hit and how long I was going to hit it. They knew how long to stay out there on something and when to bring it back. But that takes time.
It does.
You know,
That's a chemistry thing.
that's a chemistry thing. So for me to go there and just bond instantly, and then be able to record, and when I got there on a Sunday, I got off the plane and I checked in, and then we went straight to the studio. And it was like, oh, okay. And then I recorded 3 songs on
Right.
Sunday.
Right.
And so then it was like, oh, we're dealing with a real person who really wants to sing and can sing and knows and came prepared to do what she came to do. I
Work.
don't really mess around when it comes to the studio because
Yeah.
time is money.
Yeah.
And I get in there, I already know what I want. I can already hear all the background. I can hear exactly how I want it. I don't
Right.
know how. Sometimes I can hear a tune and I already hear exactly how it's laid out. Now, speaking of that, it's crazy how this movie is so big, Us, right? I haven't seen
Mm-hmm.
it yet, but the same producer made Get Out. Remember
Yes.
the movie Get Out?
Yes.
Well, that was one of my favorites. And I don't do horror, but to me that wasn't scary.
Mm-hmm.
But Get Out, and do you remember the little teacup that the girl's mom had that was hypnotizing everybody? And she had a teacup and a spoon, and when she tapped the spoon, he fell into the sunken place. You recall that? No? Go back and watch that movie again now.
I haven't seen it. I saw bits and pieces of it. I haven't seen the entire movie.
Oh, well, then I won't give it away. But
Go
there
ahead
is
and
a
share. Go ahead because I'm
there.
sure others have.
Okay, so there is a part where the girlfriend's mother, she hypnotizes people, and she hypnotizes her boyfriend, and because he was a smoker, and she used that as a kind of an excuse. So she has her teacup and she has her spoon, and she takes her spoon and when she does that, it's like it's like snapping your finger or counting backwards if you're being hypnotized.
Right.
And he would sink into the floor. He would just sink like lifeless. He was just frozen. Frozen, couldn't do anything. That was it. So don't ask me why, but when I heard this one track, the first thing that came to my mind was an intro where I'm speaking, and when I'm finished speaking, I take the spoon on the teacup and do the tick tick,
Tick, tick, tick.
and then the song starts.
Did you do
I'm
it?
gonna try to. I'm gonna play a little bit, and this is the first time that anyone has heard it.
Exclusive.
So exclusively here with Valerie Miller,
Yes.
T.V.M. And I'm gonna try. Let's see here.
Let's hear.
Let's see. But it's one of my favorites because of that little thing.
Now you're going to make me watch the movie just to see.
Yep.
Whittington's inspiration.
Warning. Do not listen to this song while driving, operating machinery, or being in the upright position. The voices may be hypnotic. Do you want me to let it play? Can you hear it okay?
Yes, up a little bit.
You say if you can hear me speaking clearly in your ear, tell me you can feel me even though I'm not there. Stop wondering what is this. Look deep down in my eyes. Can't you feel my kisses? Please don't be shy. Don't be afraid. Oh, my love, don't be afraid of me. Can you feel my heart dancing to your favorite song? It's vibration and energy. Don't make me wait too long. Every time is like ours. You know this to be true. Yes, you always quench my thirst, and I do the same for you. Listen to my voice and let it take you to a place, and we'll go my way, my way, my way. Listen to my voice and we'll let nature take its course and do it my way, my way. Don't be afraid, I'll be right here for as long as it may take. I'll be sure to leave you a message. You can listen when you're away. Now don't be afraid when you hear me ask you if you had fun last night. Oh, baby, I was there too. So that makes it alright. Listen to my voice and let it take you to a place, and we'll go my way, my way, my way. Listen to my voice as we let nature take its course and do it my way, my way. Don't be afraid of my loving, 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 loving. Don't be afraid of me. Don't be afraid of my loving, 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 loving. Don't be afraid of me. Of me. loving, 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 loving. Afraid of me. Gonna talk about the length of the songs in a minute.
Okay.
Because that is extremely important to me anyway.
Love it a million times.
I'm so glad too. And exclusively played, honestly. First time ever anyone has heard it other than me sending them the song to listen to. Like these heard everything.
Yeah.
So still likes hearing them, almost like the first time. So
I'm honored.
this one is one of my absolute favorites because of the silly little teacup thingy I'm a movie buff. So that reminds me of Get Out. I got it from Get Out. It was inspired by Get Out. So,
I love it.
yeah,
Nice touch.
yeah.
Nice touch.
And thank you to everyone who was commenting and saying nice things. I'm gonna come back, I promise you, and I do respond. So, but thank you so much. And Erica Malachi says song beautiful. Thank you, Erica.
Yes.
Um,
Oh,
that one will go on, be picked up. Another interesting thing, the songs have been sent to, well, the two that were picked up by iTunes and Apple were
yes.
also sent to Pandora. I listen to Pandora so much. But
Yep.
Pandora, they don't let you know, like iTunes and Apple Music or any other place that picks up your songs, they
Right.
won't let you know right away. I listen to Pandora so much, I have a feeling that's how I would find out if they started playing anything on Pandora, just listening to it. I
Yeah.
mean, after a while, I would know legally because everything I do is copyrighted. I go through the government copyright. I know people
Good.
do things differently. They do things that protect them. Um, I just do things. Um, I should have been a lawyer. I should have, right?
Well,
But
great thing to be so efficient. It's covering your bases in
yeah,
advance.
that's where being a little anal helps
Hmm.
because um, I send it to the government for copywriting, and everything I've ever even thought of goes to ASCAP first. And I mean ideas, little sayings, anything. My name is copyrighted. I'm the only one in the States, the only Whittington still you will find. Um, yeah, because I wasn't born with that name. But we'll talk about that later. But it's
Oh,
my grandfather's last name and my grandmother's last name.
I love it.
And real quick history lesson, the Stills are from Lawnside, New Jersey. But as far as lineage goes, there was a Guinean prince and a Lenape tribe or Lenape tribe Indian woman who migrated to New Jersey in the early 1800s. And
Right.
from them came the entire Still clan. And many of them are still in the tri-state area. They're huge. They have Still Day every year. I think this is like the 159th, I want to say, maybe more that they've had.
Hmm.
And I sang one year, and just an amazing bunch of people. They're abolitionists. They've been, William Still, their books, their history lessons, their PBS specials. They
Hmm.
were nutritionists, herbalists, doctors, lawyers,
Interesting.
and and it's nice to know where you're from and what's expected of you. I tell you, that's really important because I don't want to let any of my ancestors down, and
Uh-huh.
I believe their energy is with me as well. So I just
I
want to
agree. I agree wholeheartedly because of the simple fact it goes back to you can't know who you are until you know where you came from. And when that happens, then that's when your true identity is unveiled. Very important. Very important. And you have somehow frozen in time. And while you're frozen, I'm going to say to everybody else, she rocks. I love Whittington. And also, Richardson as well. And I'm sure she'll be back in momentarily due to the freeze. And I'm grateful for the amount of time that we did have her without having her slide out of the room and having to come back in again. It was quite entertaining on the front end of the show. So all of you who haven't caught all of it, definitely make sure you go back and catch that portion of the beginning of the show. It's going to be vital that you see that. It's a little comedy, and then, you'll see in the end how everything tends to level out until just moments ago. But Whittington has a very unique and I would say superb voice. And I do hear so many other artists, with similarities of her sound, but at the same time, she's unique in her own right. And that's where the respect comes in. Definitely that Phyllis Hyman sound. And there was only one Phyllis Hyman. So for her to sound like that, all you can do is sway. And Veronica Morris, I think it was you that said you can imagine hearing that track while traveling, while driving in your car. Windows down, maybe roofs back, summertime, just out on a Saturday afternoon or on a Sunday drive. It's that type of music because I am a lover of jazz music. It's not a genre that I don't listen to, but there are some that I just tend to listen to a little bit more, and jazz is one of those. And a sound like a Whittington still, all the way fabulous. All the way fabulous. And I'm so glad, Veronica, that you love the platform. And it's so many juicy artists that I'm meeting every single day. And as I'm meeting them, because there's going to be quite a few coming up in the coming weeks. And in reality, I have booked myself out until August. And that's how many people I've had the privilege of meeting and aligning with this particular platform. As far as Wisdom Wednesday, I'm out to October just about. So it goes back to knowing who you are and doing what you were born to do. And once you tap into understanding who you are, then it's easy to do that thing that wakes you up in the morning. And you do it without effort. This is fun to me. It's fun. However, I get to have engaging conversations and introduce you to different artists and different people that are all the way fabulous because I enjoy it. And I know it's going somewhere grand. I just don't know where it's going. However, when I get there, that halo will be awful bright. And I have to show gratitude to each and every one of you for being who you are and showing support every single week. And I know it's surprising to a lot of you. I intentionally don't say a whole lot who the guest is right away. And I'm going to call Whittington. I don't think she can get back in, so I'm going to call her on her phone. But it's a wonderful thing, and you're really going to be caught off guard with some of the guests that are going to be coming. Pay attention. Pay attention. I'm calling you now, Whittington. I'm calling you. And whatever you do.
Whittington still?
Whittington, I'm trying to get you on the line, doll. So definitely share these lives because you never know what you're going to hear. You never know what you're going to experience. And it's one thing to see the replay. That's amazing. However, it's nothing like being in the midst of a live, one of these lives. And so, Whittington, I'm going to text you. Since I can't get you on the phone, I'm going to send you a quick text. So you call me so we can finish this up. There's no way I can get off now and we not completely wrap this up, especially after that track. She's got to tell us more about it, and that whole tinkering on the cup. I love that. Yeah, that I am loving. So you want me to message you? It's always unscripted here. You know how it is. It's unscripted. It's unscripted here. And that's what I like the most, I believe. I do believe it's because you never know what's going to happen from one week to the next throughout the episode. I did text you, Whit. So I'm going to see if I can get into my messenger. Her battery died on the phone. Oh, thanks, Veronica. I missed that. So I'm going to send her. I may be able to pull her in through Messenger. I'm going to see if I can call her on Messenger. It's uneventful. Totally. Right in the mist. Okay, Whittington, here we go. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. So what do you guys think? Have you enjoyed the show? Have you enjoyed it? Have you shared it yet? Did you take away any kudos or any nuggets from tonight? What are your thoughts? I think she's a great, 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 great guest. That's what I am saying she is, as everyone who's been on thus far. And I'm saying just stay tuned because there's so many others that you are going to be enlightened with. And I got a great response from one earlier this evening before, and I was like, yes. And God is good, is all I can say. He really is. And your gifts do make room for you. So if you're not in alignment and doing what you were born to be, being you and being fabulous 365, I strongly suggest that you get into alignment with yourself. Understand who you are. Get to know you. And if you're having troubles with it, come to me because that's what I do. I introduce you to yourself. And it's joy for me to help you get there. It's nothing like living your life authentically as yourself, as you were intended to do from birth. Amazing. I can't be happier myself. I wonder if she is on her computer and I call her on Messenger, if we'll get her. I'm going to try. And hopefully I don't mess up this live. You never know how these things are set up. And I thank you for your patience. I thank you for just being here tonight. And it could be possible.
Alright.
Hey.
And hopefully I don't mess up this line.
Well, I think I got a voicemail. So before I totally destroy this live, I'm just going to just continue carrying on. And I'm going to thank Whittington for spending time with us tonight because it's actually 8:43. It's been an hour and 43 minutes. This is what I'm saying. It gets all juicy in the room. We lose all track of time. And my goal every single week is to attempt. Whittington, can you hear me? Okay, and I hear myself echoing back there. Is it? Can you guys hear Whittington? Let me know if you can hear her.
I can hear you just fine.
I want to make sure the sparrows can hear. Can you hear out there, Veronica? Or whomever's in the room, can you hear Whittington?
Can you guys hear Whittington?
Hi guys, can you hear
Let
me?
me know if you can hear
It's
me.
extremely low.
I want to make sure the sparrows can hear. Can you hear out there, Veronica? Or whomever's in the room, can you hear Whittington?
Is there
Hello?
feedback when you hear it though? Are you hearing myself and then Whittington? Because I'm not understanding why the volume is so low.
Okay, so let me see something here. I think I have to close this live session.
Is there feedback when you hear?
I don't know if we'll be able to do it. So your phone died? And Patricia is saying that there is feedback. And I think it's because I'm on Messenger and we're still live. And I can't, can you plug your phone up and I call you?
I have to message you. You have to call me on my landline.
That's perfectly fine. Send that to me through Messenger and I'll call you on the landline. That way I can guarantee that they can hear you.
And now I hope I know what it is.
That is a mess. You know that, right? Okay. Yes, I think that's what we're going to have to do because it's some feedback here.
Can you message me the number to call?
Sure.
Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it.
I just done so. Okay, I just sent it to you. So I'm going to hang up. Whittington.
Yes.
Okay, Sparrows, can you hear Whittington?
Hello, hello. I'm going to turn you down here because I think that's what I'm hearing too.
Yes, so I'm just shutting everything off on my
Okay.
phone. So I can.
Okay, I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna shut
You can hear
it
Patricia?
down and just. Hmm?
Okay, I'm talking to Patricia to make sure that they can hear you well without any feedback.
Okay. Can you hear me without feedback?
They're saying yes, they can hear. So there, we can carry on.
Awesome. Okay. Sorry about that. I tried to have 100%, but I did not. And I plugged up and thought it was gonna carry me on, but it did not. So I'm so sorry. But I can see you. I see you. You're just delayed, but I can see you on here, and I'm glad that everybody can hear me. But
Yes.
I'm glad. I see the comments about the teacup. Yeah, I come up with little things like that to incorporate in the music and get your attention. I mean,
You
the
have
song
to
is
be
about it's actually a true story. Sometimes you can make an impression on people, and to where it's a good impression, and it's an impression that people enjoy, even when you're not there.
Yes.
So I've been told that, folks can still kind of like feel my presence and hear my voice even when I'm not in the room. And they think about me, and I might decide to call them at that moment, like things like that. I love things like that. And not
Yes.
nothing spooky. It's just nice energy.
It is.
And so that song, when you hear it again, you'll know that, okay, if we put this all together, and I'm telling you, when you think you hear that voice, when you feel those feelings, don't be afraid of it at all. But then I just play with them a little bit with the teacup, because then it's like, am I hypnotizing you with my voice?
Well, you know what? When I hear that a lot, also, with my voice, I guess that's one of the gifts, and I say a lot. I say, oh, it's just a gift from God. We all have our own sound. It's all about how we utilize our sound to be effective in the world.
That's right. That's right.
You know.
And you have to be effective. And I heard what you were saying earlier about, just doing things and how you feel about them and really making your stamp. Because I'm doing this and it sounds weird, but I'm not so much doing this for now.
Right.
I kind of lived, and now it's being done for what's to stay once I'm gone.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Leave your mark.
Long after me, hopefully you'll go watch movies. People will watch movies and they'll say my name and they'll hear a little something and the songs will be played for movies and TV and they'll hear little things that say, wow, yeah, that's Whittington. And that's the stuff that I want to stay. So that's what we all have to do. We all have to think about what is it we want here after we're gone.
Yes.
Because that's how you stay here.
That's definitely how you stay. And one of the reasons why I enjoy writing, I don't have children to feed all of this juiciness into. I know way too much to just take it all with. So I do have a gang of nieces and nephews. So that's the reason why I do the majority of things that I do. However, there are so many children out here who, as I am an absentee, I have absentee children, there are children who have absentee parents. So if I can write something where some child in the world can read something that I've written and it can boost their self-esteem, it can be something that's going to give them a reason to push and to be the greatest they can be, then Valerie Miller has done her job to leave marks on this world. And that's the whole point of doing that, because we're not going to be here forever. We're not.
No.
So surely as we're born, we are going to expire. So how are you going to be remembered?
Val, tell me, what is your favorite color?
Purple.
Purple. Awesome. So don't know if you've ever had time to venture off into one of my pages where you see the Whittington Still collection. So
yes, we talked about the jewelry.
Beautiful. Yes. So I am going to put together something that I think you would just be perfect for you. And you're petite and you're very, very dainty. And I think I can read the right jewelry for the right moment. I may have to come up with two different little pieces there, but they'll be purple, and I think you will love them, and you can wear them, and when folks ask you, who made that jewelry, where'd you get that? It's a Whittington Still original.
Collection.
And I do not make more than one piece, unless it's like a bridal party or request.
Right.
So you very rarely have to worry about seeing anyone else in your piece.
That's how I roll.
Hey, it might be similar, but you can rest assured if it's from the Whittington Still collection. Oh no, it's one of a kind.
It's one of a
something
kind.
Special.
And I love that. Thank you, because it's all
You're
about
welcome.
being unique. There is no two of us. Nothing. So.
No, and women love being able to have something that nobody else does.
That's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
It is the whole point. And as Veronica Morris is saying, she said, that's right, fabulous. No, your dash, you taught me that. Yes, it's all about the dash. It's how you're living every single day. How you represent yourself to the world is how you're remembered when you're gone.
That's right. The dash, what you did in between time and in the meantime.
In the meantime. It is so wonderful.
That's right.
So tell me, what is next for Whittington Still?
Well, like I tapped on, we're gonna focus on movies. We're gonna focus on getting the right people to put me in the right place for the movie makers, for the people doing the sound scores, so that when you go to the movies, you can start to train your ear and start to wonder if Whittington's music is going to be. I think that's coming. I actually see that.
It's coming.
And so I've kind of skipped stuff because I always just wanted to. I honestly just wanted to have a complete project. It's always been interrupted. I started a CD many years ago. It got interrupted. I started again. It got interrupted. And I mean, this pattern went on and on, Val. And then I had to learn that maybe the people that I was working with weren't supposed to go where I was going.
Exactly.
Maybe it wasn't the right time. Maybe something was going to come up later and the music wasn't going to be right. Who knows? And really, I have to try to live in the present and in the future.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm finding my relief. A lot of the past is not such a great thing. So why live in it? And I'm not going back there. So I'm going forward. So now I want to be right where I'm at. I want to enjoy every single moment.
Yes.
And I have not, it has not all hit me yet. And I'm sure it will. But it's going to come gradually because God knows that's what I needed to do. I needed to come and hit me gradually, yes, so it doesn't throw me down the stairs and then I'm all bruised up. So I just needed to come in bits and pieces, and it will. It'll hit me. I'll have the right people to help it hit me the right way, and so I see film. I see my music being utilized in TV. I see my jewelry line going into the same direction because these people in movies and TV, they wear jewelry, don't they?
Yes.
And so, you know, you need to see that at the end of the movie or the show. That the jewelry provided by Whittington Still Collection.
Yes.
Music by Whittington Still. Like, that's what I see. And so I got to make that. I drew bottles, perfume bottles, about 18 years ago. And I can still see some of the bottles in my mind. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board one of these days. And I actually wrote out how I could meet with chemists, and they take you and you put these different scents together and what you like, and the sandalwood and the lavenders and the this and that, and try to come up with things. I'm sure things have evolved in all of this time.
It's easier than you think, because I blend all the time. So when you say that I love crystal bottles to put unique blends in them, that's a whole different part of T.V.M. Well, actually, it's the hub, Visions LLC. That is my actual business. And so, yeah, so I create scents and personalized jewelry and create drapery. Everything's unique to the home. I have a design background, so that's where it all comes from. So it's more than what you see. It's a lot of layers to this, girl.
Absolutely, as there should be.
So I agree with you.
That's the thing, as there should be. And sometimes you're just too much for folks. That's okay. You leave those folks where they stand.
They have to stay there. Those are the ones, the secret shadows that mimic you. It's them.
They try.
You know,
they try. They don't always succeed. They're exposed eventually, but they do try. And you have to like, you know, you almost want to pat them on the back and say, you know, it's okay, because I love helping people, and I really would rather help somebody to come into their own than to try to, you know, piggyback.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's okay, and that's what makes us fabulous. Is we just keep on keeping on, and that's just that. Yeah. But you know, I have to send you some pictures. There's something I want to touch on. I know you're probably running out of time. I've just taken up all your time.
I know, but you know, it's juicy. I did put that disclaimer out, and it's my show. It can run as long as I want.
Yes, see, when you have your own, you know, talk show and you're like Johnny Carson-esque,
yes,
I can come on and we can chit-chat, and that will just be awesome. I used to watch him. I love that show. But you're headed there. You're going to have your own forum, your own platform, and it's going to be fabulous. And I just don't want you to forget about me. I want to be a guest of yours. at least once every maybe 2-3 years. I don't know, but
You can count that to be, because it's going to be so many things that you're going to unveil on yourself, things that you haven't even discovered about yourself yet. So these are just the
is this
things
the
you're talking
truth?
about now that you are familiar with. That's what I'm saying. So the more you do in alignment, the more that comes to.
Yes, and
It does.
also I had Sophie and Hijazi is an awesome talent out of France, and that young man was going to put together a Phyllis Hyman tribute in France,
Yes.
and I was looking forward to it. However, he has taken on some other ventures that I'm
Mm-hmm.
so proud of him, so happy for him, and so he kind of had to drop that. And people that I told about it, that I was hoping for, and I was, going to see what happened,
Uh-huh.
they were like, you know what? That's not even a no. That's still there, and
I can
I
see it.
believe that he still wants. I believe he still wants to do it. If he became freed up enough, he could and would. But how about the fact that I may be able to do it myself and
Might
and
or
and
can.
actually have a Phyllis Hyman tribute um, with not just myself. As whenever I had shows, I like to incorporate other people. Like I've
Yes.
actually used young people to open up for me. I
Yes.
did a show in Camden before I moved down here to Florida, and it was a small restaurant in Pennsauken called the Men in the Kitchen. You're in Camden or Pennsauken, you need to be dropping by the Men in the Kitchen because you never know who's in there.
I like
And
that.
and every time I go home, I pop in. So I did a show there, and I'm going to do another one there in, I think, July, August, after this project's completed. And uh, I had there was my cousin
Mm-hmm.
who is an awesome young lady, very talented, very smart, Emmy, and she plays the violin. So I had her playing the violin. I
Uh-huh.
had a young man out of Delaware, a young artist. He came and he reminds me of a John Legend,
Uh-huh.
and he came and he sang, and so they opened for me, and it's like, and I told the audience, it was a very intimate evening, and and people like that when you're just one-on-one. I walked around with the
Yes.
mic, I let people sing with me, and we just had a great time. It was a wonderful evening, and I want to do that again. So I told people, hey, they could be anywhere doing anything.
Right.
Why not go ahead and um, let them shine, and then make sure you're egging them on to want to shine, to want to
Right.
follow their dreams, to want to get into something positive
The
and,
support.
and enlightening. So I truly believe that's where it all starts, in the minds and in the hearts of the children.
It
When
does.
I was little, I used to pray for all of the children in the world. Now, we get older and our prayers evolve, but
Of course.
ironically, sometimes it's good to be a little naive in that area, because I was always taught that prayer changes things.
It does.
So I've always and continue to this day and will always, I pray for all the children in the world. I pray for the children that are missing, the children that are hungry, homeless, being abused in bad situations,
Mm.
that they may have to endure these things. But I pray that when they come out, they can go grab another soul and help them.
Right.
And that sometimes is the lesson.
Yes, it is.
Sometimes we have to go through the stuff so that when we can recognize when others are going through or about to go through, and we can kind of reach out
Be a
and
help.
be that hand that
Yeah.
we did not have to
Yeah.
say, hey, it's okay. Hey, come with me. Hey, let me get you some help.
That's what
That
it's all
goes a
about.
long way. Yeah, so I'll always pray, and I see things happening. I saw a little boy. There was a picture, I think it was on Facebook. A little boy was kneeling in a Walmart, and he was in front of a missing children's poster. Have you seen that?
I have not.
And he was praying for the missing children that was in the poster. It was so moving, and someone from a distance just took his picture, and it's gone viral.
Aww.
So it's the innocence that really speaks to me. You know, I lost my mom at a very young age.
Yeah.
And, yes. And I always say, I grew up saying, there's no love like a mother's love.
It isn't.
Now, if that's true, Valerie, then think of all of the children, myself included, who've never truly been loved, okay?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that love that's supposed to be superior, that's supposed to be bigger and better and brighter than any love you'll ever get, and so many children like myself. Now, I had sisters, of course, and my father raised me. He was my mom and my dad. God rest his soul. I love him to infinity and beyond. But if you don't have that mother's love, then you missed out on a lot. And it still doesn't stop you from being a loving person.
It does not, even though
another
you may not.
piece, that's another part of
Yeah.
what you didn't have, and some people using the excuses to do these crazy things and act these crazy ways as adults. I didn't have this. I had to endure that. I lived over here. You know what? I get that. I get it all. But, okay, stand up, brush your shoulder off, you know, jump in the shower and leave it there, step out, and make it what you want now.
Right.
You can't forget about it. I hate when people say, oh, forget about it, get over it.
You won't.
We're not robots.
No.
We can't flip a switch and never think back to what we saw or experienced or felt. However, you can put on anew. You can decide that you want something different. You want to feel different.
You can live
You
with
want to
it.
be different. You want to live different, and you can live with it.
Right.
You can be okay. And that's what Barbara Streisand was trying to say, and she got bashed for saying what she said about Michael Jackson, and that's a whole other story. But she was saying those boys have grown up, and they got married, and they had families, so they're okay, and people took it in another direction, but I kind of understood what she was saying. She was saying what I just said. Things will happen, but you know what?
Learn to live
You're
with that.
okay. You're okay. You don't have to dig this man up from the grave and make him, you know what I mean? You don't have to do all that. You can move on now and live your life. Don't live in a shadow. Don't live in the past.
It can be full. Live a full life. Even though I don't know what it's like, I don't know what it feels like to not have a mother's love. I will never claim that. What I will say is a mother's love is extremely powerful, and it really could change trajectory of lives in the event you had a good mother. But there are some people who have had mothers that were not good mothers. And then on the top of that, the epitome of unconditional love is God himself. So when you have the love of him, you have the love of all love.
That's right. Well, he says he'll
surpasses
replace
all.
your mother and your father. You know, he will. You can go to God. I'll tell anybody.
He is it.
If you are feeling lost, if you feel empty, if you feel anxious, if you feel like you're not enough, anything that you feel that you don't want to feel, you don't have to feel it forever.
No, it's a choice.
I will tell anybody. You
choice.
can make this decision to get down on your knees, close your eyes, and you don't have to say a word. Let your heart speak. Let your heart just get in tune with your heart.
Period.
And listen to your heart.
Yes.
You don't have to say a word out of your mouth.
Yes.
And watch things happen.
It will happen.
Watch things happen.
Right? I mean,
People are
instantaneously.
moved right out of the
can
way. You know, I've lost people. People have walked away. People have disappeared. And I say, my goodness, well, what happened? And then I stop questioning.
Don't ask. Say thank you.
You let them go.
Thank
You say,
you.
"Oh my goodness, thank you." Yes,
Thank you.
yes. And then most times, not all times, sometimes it's actually revealed why that person had to be moved out of the way.
They couldn't go.
You know, they couldn't go. They couldn't go, and you didn't need to go where they were going.
No. It's been nice while it lasts, and I thank you for your efforts and for your part that you played in my life, and I bid you adieu. I wish you well. And you just separate, and you do it in love and kindness and gratitude. So once you have those things in place and you can accept every situation as they unfold, then you will indeed go far. You go extremely far when you know that everybody is not intended to stay. It's seasons for reasons. And so just make sure you understand when someone's time is up as well as your own in somebody else's life. So just accept that. Cleave to your higher power, God, Abba, whomever you call him. If you say it's a her, it's all about you making a decision to have the greatest life you can possibly have. That's the only way you're going to become yourself, by knowing who you are. And it all starts with the love of God. Period.
That's right. That's
So
right. Yep. Because
that's
there's
what
God
I
in all of us. I do believe that. I believe that God lives in us.
Yes.
You know.
He does.
And yeah, he does. And we say he, and like you said, you know, some say he, some say she.
Right.
It really is. It's just such a spirit that can't even be measured.
No.
It can't even have it. It can't. It doesn't deserve to be put in any type of
Category. Right.
Category or measure. You can't measure God. You can't. You just have to feel it. Feel, and it is what it is. And that spirit, that energy, that frequency, it will take you places that you never thought you'd see before in your life. And I'm so thankful. Sometimes I am so overwhelmed with his grace that I'm even still here. Yes. I don't have to be here. I didn't have to be here. It didn't look like I was going to be here from day one. So I'm still here. And I'm so thankful that I stuck around. And that I'm seeing what I'm seeing, and I'm learning what I'm learning, and I'm giving back any way I can give back because I'm just so thankful, and I don't have to know all the answers. I don't have to know how it ends. I'm along for the ride, but there is a location in mind. There is a destination, okay, tied to my destiny. I'm not just out loosey-goosey and spinning the ball and saying whatever direction, I'm just going to go that way. That's what we do when we're young. And that's how we waste so much time thinking we have so much time left. You know, when you're young, you think, oh, yeah, I'll do that, but I'll do that later. I'll get it together, but I'll get it together later. Right. And that's fine, but I call this time in my life the rest of. Yes. So it's like once you hit that point and you say a light bulb comes on and you're like, okay, I get it now. That's a rest of your life moment.
It is.
So, yep, and then you start to decide, what am I going to do? And how am I going to do it? And what's it going to take? And okay, let's roll.
Right.
And that's really it. So the sky is the limit. You said, where do I see myself? I could only imagine what I could imagine, but I think that there are things that are going to be that I could never have imagined in a good, positive way. And I hope and pray that I touch hearts, that I touch lives, and I hope my music is something that just sticks around and is ageless and timeless. You know, folks are listening to a song called Missing You, and I think some of them think that I just did it, and even though I just redid it, that song is over 15 years old, Val.
Love it.
And it hasn't lost its time. So I try to keep that in mind too.
It
And
speaks
I don't dress
volumes.
for a fad. I don't do music in a fad way.
Right.
So, you know, I could, at the time, I could pull things out of my closet that I might have had a million years ago, and somebody said, oh my goodness, what? And it's like, this is so old. And the same with the music,
Yes.
you know, and then people would say, don't say that, just say thank you. So I stopped telling people how
Yes,
old the
thank you
songs
is
were
enough.
and how old my clothes were, and just start saying thank you.
Well, you know, it's meaning behind that. It's different when it's a song because you were at a time and a place during that time when you wrote it, and even though it was 15 years ago, it makes it relevant today, which means
Yeah.
it's necessary to hold that longevity. That's what's
Yeah.
important about that. A garment, I get it still. You buy classic pieces that you can match up with different things, and then it's always new. So, yes,
Yes.
I get that. So, if you take those two revelations and put them together, then you have a whole new song.
How about that? How about that?
Back then
And you
and
talked
now.
about interior decorating. We look, once you get the show going, we need a little mini mall because I make my own curtains
You do?
and
I love
pillows
it.
to match.
It's all about
And
that.
look,
That bed
and I
linens.
love to decorate. I'll be painting walls. People come in and say, "Who did this?" I did it. I use the tape and I measure and a leveler. I love that. I just
Yeah.
love creating it, and you save so much money when you do it yourself. And then there's another feeling that comes like this is your creation,
It's
and
your
you just
creation, but it's your
yeah,
home. And when someone enter
yeah,
your space, they see you in it.
yes,
You walk through the
yes,
door and say, you know, yeah, Whittington lives here. Yeah, this is a Valerie house. You know, and it's that type of a thing. It's personal identity. It's another fingerprint because your home is no different than your life. It's just where you live.
yeah,
It's the
yeah,
same. It's an everyday
yeah,
reflection. It's no
yeah.
different.
And doesn't it feel good? Because I know this happens to you when people come into your home and they get comfortable and they don't want to leave, or
Yes.
they fall asleep.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're like, okay, did this just happen? But it's just so comfortable,
Yeah.
and it's a certain level of peace that they
Mhm.
feel, and that's attractive,
It
and
is.
people want to come back to that.
It is.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. Now
Uh-huh.
I don't open my home up as much as I used to. Like I used to love to entertain, and
Mhm.
in California I did a lot of that, and you know, like I said, parties after shows and things. But I don't really do that anymore. But
Maybe you
I
should.
kind of
It's
see
all about
one
entertaining.
day, yeah, I kind of see one day having the home that will allow me to have those types of gatherings
Yes.
in one area
Yeah.
where we're not necessarily coming into my entire home,
Which
but
works.
there's a place on the property we can do those things.
A basement
And
or
you know, your
something.
invite will be in the mail.
Thank you. I appreciate the invitation. I shall arrive.
Oh, we're going to
I
have a good
love
time.
it.
This is a fun ride that we're on. We're all headed in the right direction, and
That's true.
D as well. D is going places that I know he knows that I'm going to
Absolutely.
be reminding him of how awesome he is. I mean, when I hear his music, I just shake my head because I'm like, this old soul living in
Yes.
this young man with all this talent and wisdom and his charisma, and he's truly going places
He is.
where he's not going to be there for a minute. He's going in a way, and he's traveling in a way, and the transportation he's using is the transportation that's not going to be fly by night like some of these young folks. It's going to
No.
be the longevity.
It's long awaited. I mean, he's been
Yes,
very
yes,
patient in it.
yes,
So when he
yes.
blossoms, he's going to blossom
Mm-hmm.
extensively because he's following protocol of the proper way of doing things. He's following his quest the way, you know, Yahweh, as he says, is leading
Mm-hmm.
him to do. So that's where all the power is coming from. I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited for him. I'm
I am
excited for
too.
you
I am too.
as
I just
well.
want to like lift him up already. You know what I mean? And so, and I know what that feels like to have someone cheering you on, to have someone lifting you up.
Yeah.
And that is, believe it or not, it might sound silly, but that is almost 90% behind success.
Yes.
Is having the motivation.
Yes.
And that can't always just come from within.
No.
Sometimes you really need that audible voice to say you can do it.
Yeah.
That you're amazing. You've come so far. It's right there. Don't give up. You need those voices from people you trust and trust you and love you and only want the best for you. I will tell anybody on that can hear my voice, if you are around anyone that makes you feel anything less
They don't need to be there.
what you want to feel, please leave them.
Yes.
Please leave them
It's
where
time
they
to go.
stand.
It's time to
They're
go.
only going to take up your time, and you don't have much of it. Life is too short. Just get up and just move, or move them, and let them stay right where they are. Love them from a distance. Pray for them from a distance, but you best to move on.
That's how it's done, Whit. And that's how it's going to be. And you have to be reminded of that often, because there's so many people that's been around for a while that you have to realize that their season has passed and you've held on to them, when you shouldn't have. And it hurts, it stings. However, at the same time, you have to look at where you're going and trust that it's the right thing to do, and just do it in love. Do it in love, leave it behind, and let that be the end of it. And, the end, period.
Yes, that's it, period.
So,
and I have to tell myself that. There are people who reach out to me and, that were from the past, and they know just what to say. I love flowers. I'll get flowers, just out of the blue, and it's like, oh, and then my heart is melted. But you know what? I will take those flowers. I will love those flowers. I will water those flowers, and I will still say goodbye to you.
Thank you. They're beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
And that's it. No explanation. Unapologetic. That's what I said, at the beginning of the show. Is this poem that I read. And you have to be unapologetic. Just say it and mean it. And don't fray or fret. That's what my mom would say. Don't be fretting. You just go ahead and do what you have to do, and let that be it. No explanation.
That's what she would say?
No fret. Yes. Yes. And don't you dare take any wooden nickels. That's what my mom would say. So.
How about that, though?
Yeah.
Boy, you learn though.
It's constant
you get
education.
one wooden nickel, and you're like, oh, okay, the machine wouldn't take this one. I see now what you did.
Yeah, I see you. I understand you. I respect you where you are. However, that doesn't suit my life. I wish you the best.
Right.
And just
That's right.
move
And you can
on.
be positive about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to hate. You don't have to send negative messages.
Right.
You don't have to do any of that. Keep your, when people send me friend requests, some people want to know why I don't make them a friend. And believe me, I'm not sitting saying, oh, nope. No, I go to the pages. When I get around to it, I go to the pages. If your page has some craziness,
can't be on mine.
Porn, nudity, just showing women in a derogatory, if you, just a whole bunch of profanity, I can't subscribe to that. That's your thing. That's what you like. That's wonderful. Kudos. However, do not ask me for permission to come into my Facebook world, which is not my real life, but my Facebook world, which I use the social media for business, basically, okay? I don't post truly personal things. You won't ever see that. But I still don't want to scroll through and see craziness, things that I don't want in my spirit, things I don't want to even see.
Right.
So those friend requests, unfortunately, they just sit there.
Continue to follow. They become a part of the follow. And that's okay for you to follow. You just won't have the engagement because it goes back to see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. It's the same thing what you
Right.
allow in your spirit.
That's
So
right.
don't be quick to say yes.
so yeah, don't be so eager to have the friends or to have that count up
Oh,
and
please,
at any cost. Don't
no.
do that. Don't do that. That's like selling your soul. Don't do
Yeah,
it.
it's not
I could
worthy.
have been, I'm telling you, Val, I could have been a household name over a decade ago. But you know one thing? I was working with someone who, when it came time to, we were just halfway through the CD,
Right.
and when it came time to start writing for the videos, they saw me in a way I didn't see myself. And I said, I don't think that's for me. And I was told that I shouldn't think. And what did I know? And I'm just going to do as I'm told. And that couldn't happen. So I had to walk away because I wouldn't sell my soul.
Right.
Now, I'm doing my own thing. And I'm in the driver's seat. And no one's going to tell me what I'm going to wear, how I'm going to act. You know, I'm not doing that. It's about talent for one thing.
Right.
I like good music, and I like to write. And so with the energy and the writing and the good music, it comes out to be a good thing. And that's really all I want to do. I don't have to become a billionaire. I don't have to strip and shake my behind across the stage and expose
you're well
myself.
past that. You're well past it. I mean, you've got songs that are about to appear on movies, and you have tracks. You've stepped into a whole different realm of a little reggae. So you're doing things now that you haven't done before. You know, you can look in the rearview mirror, but you're not going back there. You can only face forward, and while you're facing forward and you're traveling there, that's all that matters at this point. You know, that's where you've arrived and you're continuing to flourish into. That's what is so exciting about Whittington Steel. Now, we've been going for a while, and it's hot.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. It's juicy. But at the same time,
well, you know, that's what happened when we talked on the telephone the first time.
We went for quite a few hours. We did the first time and didn't realize it. We were just talking and didn't know until we looked at the timer on the phone, like, oh my goodness. But that is very few and far in between to have, you know, great dialogue with someone like this when, you know, you're talking about the direction you're going in and knowing that you're on the right path and you know you're excited. So when you're in excitement and you are whole, to be a whole individual and you're living your dreams, everything is coming to fruition, is worthy of conversation. It really is, because it's going to inspire somebody who may be low in that place, someone who's been pushing and pushing and pushing and just feel like, okay, I'm going to give up. But then they see, you know, this live and be like, oh my gosh, I needed to hear that. I needed to meet this person. I needed that inspiration. So when you can give that without effort, why not? You know?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not do that? And then, you know, however, we are going to wrap up because I have my gratitude time to write.
Okay.
I have a written gratitude time post today. My blog is waiting for me, the Sparrows. But you know what? How could you be located? Now, yes, you have the Facebook page here, and you have also asterisked a disclaimer of what is not going to be accepted on your page. And that I do agree with wholehearted, for the simple fact I don't allow that on my page either. I don't want to see get a surprise when I go to my timeline. There's something there that I know I wouldn't allow in my life. So therefore, I'm not going to allow it on my social media as well. So you can be a follower in that stance because you won't be privy to the page. But at the same time, how would the Sparrows contact you?
So I am available, of course, like you said, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I have a few Facebook pages,
Uh-huh.
but also I don't mind folks emailing me.
Okay.
I still write notes by hand and send them to friends
Yes.
because I'm old fashioned. I
Yes.
like that. I like getting a note
It's
that I know
classy.
someone has said hi. I hope you're having a great, like, that's just so personable, and
It's
we've come so
classy.
far from that.
Yeah.
So STILL617@live.com
Mm-hmm.
is my email address.
Okay.
And Whittington Still is like, you Google that and you can find me. You're going to come up on my band mix. You're going to come up on one of the Facebook pages. And just be kind and send me a message, and I will respond.
Great. I love that. Now, when you, after the broadcast, if you don't mind, would you put your information back into the comments so Sparrows will have that to view? Is that okay
Absolutely.
for you
I
to
can
do?
do that on my laptop right here.
Yes. Please do
And
that.
my phone, I keep saying they want me to buy a new phone, and I don't want to do it, but the battery life isn't what I'd like it to be or need it to be, and I know there's so much on there. I ask so much of my phone, poor phone.
It's
But
time. When it's
I
time,
am
it's
going
time.
to get a new one. I
Yes.
am, but yeah, but
Please.
I'll make sure that I save the same number and all
Yeah.
that good stuff. So did you see the email address there now?
Yeah, you probably put it into comments. It'll come up. Yes, I see it. So that
Okay.
way it'll be in the comments. So nobody's having to scrounge around to find something to write on when they can.
And if you
They
pin
can see
it, it will stay there.
Mm-hmm.
So then it'll just be, when you pin it, it'll just kind of be frozen. It
Yes.
won't go away so people can see it. But yes, I welcome messages. I welcome ideas and questions, and I love to share. I love it. So, that's all I went to a music summit once, and then I'm going to let you wrap it up, and it was with, it was in Philadelphia. I'll never forget. It was Patty Jackson was narrating or speaking, and it was Luda was there.
Mm-hmm.
Vivian Green was there as one of this panel, and Philadelphia International Records had Kenny Gamble and Huff. I think it was Kenny Gamble was there, and he said, the success in this business comes from helping one another.
Yeah.
That stuck. Now, we're talking over, I think it was over like 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That stuck. And then he said, there is no place for certain things in music, like vulgarity. Okay, you've got your choice words here and there, but he just did not believe that being truly vulgar had its place in good music.
I agree.
And I know he still feels that way. He just did a live. He went live, I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. And it was amazing. People were pouring in. He was trying to get off there, and people were still pouring in, just trying to chime in and listen to what this wise man had to say. So if you ever get a chance to catch him on the live, I would say, Valerie, catch him. If you could get him to come on with you, get him to come on with you, because that would be an amazing moment. I sent him an email. I know he probably has a million, but I'm hoping that when he responds, if he responds, I'm going to throw your name and info out there and say, there is someone that you need to talk to.
Aww,
and so I did it with another young lady. I met this woman. She just opened her own insurance business, and I was like, I need you to talk to somebody. So know that I'm always trying to connect people. I'm always trying to do that.
It's
because
important.
it just feels right.
Yes.
Yeah. But I so thank you for having me. I'm so glad that I was still able to just for you to just call in and still, talk to the people like this because it's everything. I see why you love doing what you do. Please don't stop. Please continue to do this. Yeah, no. You're going places and you're touching so many souls. I know you are. And people look forward to that. People need this. Remember, we didn't have this coming up. So to be able to know you come home, you feel some kind of way, but yet you can watch an uplifting, positive anything, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter what you have, and for free, okay, then that's always a blessing. So keep doing what you're doing. I love you so much. We have to talk very soon. You're so welcome. I love your spirit, and I thank you so much for making me even as comfortable as you've made me to even want to open up. Believe it or not, I don't talk this much to everybody.
I can't believe it. Every time we get on the phone, we go at it. Yes. But I thank you as well. I'm so proud of you because you were in the mix of everything coming together when we first met. So, and even upon the introduction of who you are and coming on and viewing, it was because of Demetrius, at the same time. So you just bridged a connection. Little did we know we had so much in common. And
little did
to
we
even
know.
take that, didn't even know it. Didn't even know
right?
it. But I'm so proud of where you are as well as where you're going. You're going to be doing some grand things, and I'm just grateful to be on the front end and getting exclusives all early. That's just an indicator.
How about that?
I believe it.
No one, that's not, I'm going to get all kind of calls tonight, right?
Tell them they don't know who I am, but they can stay tuned to find out. I believe in exclusive information.
But it's all good. It's all good. I try to keep my word. That's all I have, And I told you when we first talked that by the time we did this, I will have come back from recording.
Yes, you did.
And I will have something exclusively for Valerie.
Yes.
So, and I kept my word. So,
and I have something for you too. I've downloaded your music to my iTunes. And
yay!
And it's in rotation on my radio podcast. So every time it goes in rotation, you get a ping. And anybody bites it, then guess what? You get a ping again. So you can get paid every time it's rotated and shared or purchased.
Thank you, Val. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. And I'm just so excited, and I'm excited for you as well. I know there are so many things. You and your entire talented family. There's so many of you with just talent pouring out of your ears, and that's always a blessing. And just to have all that talent in your bloodline like that, you've got to be proud of that. I'm proud of you guys.
Very.
Yes. But there's some more things. You're going to have me on again.
Of course.
And we'll talk about something else or in addition to. But I love it. I love what you're doing. So please stay in touch. I don't want to eat up any more of your gratitude time. And we will talk again very soon.
We will. Thank you so much for being a part of our conversation tonight. And it's all about alignment of consciousness and knowing who we are to end up where we're going. So I thank you for being a part of Chapter 13 tonight of How I Became Fabulous and a Lady All the Time. And, it's just liaison is going into I am. I accept me, and you have to accept yourself in order to become who you're supposed to be. So be brave in it, be bold in it, and be fierce in it. And then you will open your eyes and realize you were there all the time.
Fabulous. I love it.
All right. So on that note, we're going to go ahead, Sparrows. We're going to close out. I think this is record-breaking tonight with Whittington still.
So you have to have a watch party so I can show this again.
We have to do the watch party. So as of this very moment, I'm going to say love without conditions. Always possess a positive attitude. and soar in all you do. I love you, mean it. Smooches,
Love you.
and I love you. And cheers to everything you have going on, Whit. And I will keep my eyes on you. Definitely keep me in the loop with all the interactions. And
Oh, you
of
got
course, when all of the juicy and everything blows all up sky high, then of course
it.
we're going to be having another conversation, as well as a whole probably different platform.
Yes,
It's
yes,
changing.
because I need to come. I need to come and celebrate with you.
You will be coming to celebrate with me. All I
Yes.
know is change is coming in my Sam Cooke voice. So that is it, and that is all. So have a great
Okay.
night. I appreciate you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Love you, Sparrows. Have a wonderful night. I thank you for your patience with everything that happened on the front end tonight and enduring. So it's been over 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. Oh my gosh. In any event, when I say it's going to be something juicy, unexpected, then it's juicy and unexpected. So, know I love you, and I'll see you again on Wisdom Wednesday. All right? Smooches.